Sometimes when you create a cube formula report, some of the cells will return blank, indicating that there is no data for that particular intersection. We didn't sell this product to Austria in June 2012. But if you have calculations in your worksheet or workbook that refer to these blank cells, then you can run into a problem. For example, if I have a country percent of total being this number divided by this number, and I copy that down, you can see that where there's a blank in this column, it returns an error message in this column. Why does that happen? Well, although this looks like a blank cell, it's actually returning a zero-length string. And when we try to do a numerical calculation on a string, we get an error message. This occurs whether or not the cube functions are pulling data from Microsoft Analysis Services cubes or from a Power Pivot model. So how do we get around this? Well, one way would be to cloak all the calculations with an if error function, which became available in Excel 2007. But a more elegant approach is to use Excel's little-known function, the n function. The way that works is this. You take your cube value function, you put n in front of it, and you can see that it says converts non-numeric value to a number, dates to serial numbers, true to 1, anything else to 0. So put a parenthesis there and at the end, and then we can copy that down. And now you can see that where there are blanks, it's returning 0%, which is what we want. In this case, I applied the n function to around the cube value function. I could have applied it to the numerator and denominator of the percentage calculation. It really depends how many calculations you're doing off of the cube value as to whether it's easier to do on one or the other. You can make that decision yourself. I've gone back to the original report without the n functions to show you one other thing, and that's this. If you create a sum of a column that has blank cells in it, blank cube function cells, then it returns the number fine. However, if we use a plus operator, for example, if we add Norway plus Sweden, then we get the error. And the same would be true is if we use minus, multiply, and as we've already seen, divide. So you'll need to cloak your cube value functions with an n function, which will return 0 instead of a blank cell. However, if the only calculations that you're doing are summations, then you can take advantage of Excel's sum function, which will return the right number even if there are blank cube value functions in the range.